What's going on, guys? Christian Duke, Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, sightsoundsflavors.com. I want to report on what's going on in Minneapolis, and I want to welcome you guys to the live chat. I'm also going to be including a GoFundMe link as I'm trying to get out as much as I can into the United States to be able to document what's going on. But this is really interesting because right now, from what I'm seeing throughout the media, is that let me get my microphone here. Don't do a lot of live, so I'm gonna start doing some more. But from what I see, there's actually more ICE enforcement agents in Minneapolis than there are Minneapolis police officers. And Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security, says that more, quote, hundreds more are headed to the city. So again, I don't understand what the show of force is all about, and I don't understand if it's a reaction to the homicide of RENEE NICOLE Good. But I'm also seeing here 24 minutes ago on Fox, ICE in Minnesota security barriers installed as more federal agents arrive. So they're putting up security barriers throughout the city. And this just came out about 24 minutes ago. It says crews began installing additional barriers at the Whipple Federal Building early Monday morning amid ongoing anti-ICE protests. U.S. Department of Homeland Security is deploying more federal law enforcement to Minnesota. Schools in Minneapolis are back in session, but continue to face impacts from ICE operations. So you actually have ICE agents raiding schools. We saw this at one particular high school, and it continues to happen. And this is Fox News. This is like, the network of the establishment at this point. Protests remain peaceful, according to ABC News. There's a new video now, shows the minutes leading up to the Minneapolis ICE shooting, and this is on Fox. And I'm not going to read the news to you, but I think it's interesting because the protests are growing, public opinion is growing, and a lot of people are wondering whether or not the FBI can actually do, an actual investigation with Kash Patel running the agency, and Kash Patel being such a diehard of Donald Trump's. A lot of people think that his objectivity is in question because at the end of the day, he's going to do whatever his boss tells him to do. And, unfortunately, this should not be about law enforcement or right or left. This should not be a politicized issue. It's just a very simple couple of questions. Number one, was the law officer's life at risk? No. He was filming with a phone. And as the police chief of Minneapolis, as the attorney general, as the governor have said, all he had to do was a hop and a skip to the left and he would have been fine. And he was fine. And he wasn't even treated but for a quick, brief checkup. I mean, you guys are making this out to be like Charlottesville or something like that, or comparing him to to the victims of Darrell Brooks Jr. This guy was not injured at all. This guy was not hit head on by a car either. And now I'm seeing on Facebook and other social media platforms, people are posting RENEE NICOLE Good's rap sheet. So because she had some problems, she's supposed to be shot point blank range 4 to 5 times by a federal masked law enforcement agent who, by the way, honestly, why was he even stopping her? Was he stopping her for immigration enforcement? Was he checking her ID or asking for her passport? Why was he even stopping her? What ICE watchers do is totally legal. I mean, as long as they don't block the law enforcement officers' ingress or egress. And a lot of people have said that they were looking at where her car was at, and they could have gone around her. And what law enforcement officer gets in front of a car anyways? I mean, we've seen the videos on TikTok and Reddit and YouTube where one ICE agent slipped and fell in his gun discharge because he didn't have his gun on safety. I mean, this is ridiculous. The officer that shot RENEE NICOLE Good actually got dragged, not because the driver in that situation was trying to hurt him, but he himself reached into a car, which no law enforcement officer is ever supposed to do, and he got stuck on the seat. I mean, they're hiring just about everybody. Their hiring practices are out, just insane. So much so that, for example, law enforcement agencies in Florida will not work with ICE because ICE will try to poach their people right from under them. And they're offering these massive hiring bonuses. And honestly, a lot of the ICE agents are a little more than club bouncers. I mean, they're not really professional law enforcement agents. They're just like whatever they can hire. So to me, the idea that law enforcement wearing masks and seen across the streets and, going into schools and potentially going into churches. And, I've seen them on various social media platforms disguised as protesters. I mean, what are they going to do next? Disguise themselves as priests, hear confessions on a Sunday, and then when confession's over, arrest the penitent. I mean, that's where we're headed. And then we've also seen how now the rumor is they're going to start doing door-to-door operations. And we've already seen them, like, on some media websites with battering rams taking down the homes, doors of private homes. So I'll tell you something, as an immigration attorney, like, I talk to people on a daily basis, in person, on WhatsApp, via email, via direct messages. And they're telling me like the horror stories. They're scared to go down to the street, to the corner market, and they're residents and they're citizens. They're arresting anybody that looks to them to be Hispanic or Latino. And the funny thing about it is that we come in all races, because being Latino or being Hispanic is not a race, it's an ethnicity. So you can have white, black, mulatto, mestizo, they're all Latinos. We are all Latinos, you know what I mean? And so it's like, what I think is being targeted are our customs, the food that we eat, the music that we listen to, the kind of cars that we like, the churches that we go to. And so they're coming after Latinos. I mean, if you look at the people being arrested, the vast majority, the super majority, I would say like well over 95% are Latino. They're not Asian, they're not African, they're not European, they're not Australians, they're Latinos. So I saw another ICE agent in Minneapolis go up to some folks that were ICE watchers and say, "Didn't you learn anything about what's happened in the last couple of days?" And he said this like 2 days after the homicide of RENEE NICOLE GOOD. So what is he saying? That this could happen again? That ICE watchers could be unlived? That ICE watchers could be, poof, poof? I mean, it's ridiculous. But what they're using this as an example of, look, we can do whatever we want and we're going to get away with it. They asked Donald Trump today on Air Force One, they said, what do you think absolute immunity means? And he says, just what I said it means. Like, they can do no wrong. Whether they're on camera, doesn't matter. Whether they're in front of 100 witnesses, doesn't matter. He's giving them absolute immunity. Now, I applaud the Minnesota Attorney General's office because they believe they have jurisdiction. I believe they have jurisdiction. And, that federal immunity is not going to do anything when it comes to state charges, we hope. Because again, the U.S. Supreme Court's real big on states' rights, right? Like Clarence Thomas and people like that. You would hope that they're going to, stick to their guns, so to speak, and not interfere in a state investigation. But the other thing is, we know the Supreme Court is a rubber stamp court. We know they're going to do whatever Trump says, just like, the Senate, just like the House. They're going to do whatever Trump says. And there's no accountability in this administration. They have complete control. So only time will tell what's going to happen. But it doesn't mean that we don't stop fighting. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that we don't stop fighting. And what do I mean by fighting? I mean protesting. I mean lobbying our elected officials. I mean, organizing and documenting. And what the ICE watchers are doing is, I think, phenomenal. Honking horns, knocking on doors. They're using the neighborhood apps, just getting the word out. I mean, the idea that the ICE is now raiding high schools is outrageous. But it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. So look at this. Tribal leaders say ICE is detaining American Indians during immigration sweeps. This comes from the Star Tribune. Why are they doing that? It goes back to what I said earlier. Hispanics come in black, white, mestizo, and mulatto. They're not going so much after the white Latinos or the black Latinos or the mulatto Latinos. They're going after the mestizo Latinos, the ones that have indigenous in them. And so this is exactly what I'm talking about. They're arresting Native Americans because they look like one of the demographics of Latinos that would come from southern Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. That's what they're looking for. So again, they're racially profiling, and they're going into Latino neighborhoods, and they're looking for a certain type of Latino. Then they're going to go after the Black Latinos, the white Latinos, the mulatto Latinos. It's coming, but it's a recurring theme. It's Latinos. That's what they want, Latinos. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. The irony of it is that Trump had a lot of Latino support, and now people are, they're scratching their head. They can't believe what this man is doing. Now, the good thing is we've got November. Something big can happen in November. We can take control of one of the houses. We can take control of both of the houses. Imagine if we took control of the House and we took control of the Senate. By we, I say the Democrats. I don't really identify as a Democrat, but anything's better than what we have right now. Right now, there is no accountability. There are no checks and balances. We have a subservient legislature, a subservient Supreme Court, and a president that is just drunk on power, doing whatever he wants because everybody is scared of him. Everybody. Nobody wants to wind up like Liz Cheney or Marjorie Taylor Greene. Everybody is terrified of him. So, and the people that are most terrified of him are the undocumented, the voiceless, the people that he's going after. So that's where we're at.